I have a dream. We all recognize those famous words from Martin Luther King Jr., but he wasn't the only one with dreams. You and I have them too. Each one of us came into this world with our own blank page, full of promise, full of hope, full of possibility, just waiting for the lines and colors to be filled in. We go to school, church, we interact with friends, neighbors, we have influence from our parents, TV, social media. We start along a direction as the lines start filling in our own page. Let me tell you the story of a judge who followed the path that his parents wanted him to follow, rather than following his own dream. I practiced law in front of him for about 5 years. One day, he announced that he was resigning from the bench. I was aghast. I was a young lawyer, and in my mind, he had reached the absolute epitome of lawdom. How could anyone walk away from that? It turns out he didn't want to be a lawyer. He wanted to be an artist. His parents wanted him to be a lawyer. He left the bench, opened up a foundry for bronze sculpting. His art pieces ended up in law office and galleries around the country. Here he is over 35 years later in Florida, having the blast, creating these fun art sculptures. Let me tell you about my housemate, Annie, who thought she was following her dream, changed course. She knew since high school that she was going to be a lawyer. By God, she was going to be a lawyer, and she loved the law. Her dad was a doctor. I, on the other hand, had no intention of practicing law. I had so many interests. I loved magic and ventriloquism, but that was just fun stuff, right? I knew I had to get a job, be responsible, but I didn't know what that would be. My brother went to law school. He said to me, "Go to law school. With a law degree, you can do anything. You can use it for anything you want to be." Sounds good to me. I went to law school. For 3 years, Annie and I had very heated discussions because in her mind, I was taking up state tax dollars for the seat of a woman who was going to use the education to practice law at a time when there weren't very many women in the law profession. As I was about to graduate from law school, a talent agent, Dave Jackson, offered me a 9-month contract to perform at school assemblies 2 to 3 times a day. I said, "Dave, I can't do that. I'm about to be a lawyer. Don't you understand?" Dave said to me, "If you can hold the attention of children 2 and 3 times a day for 9 months, you will capture and hold the attention of any jury." I said, "Sorry," I turned him down. But, I think he was right. The jury is still out. Instead, ironically, I opened a solo law practice. Annie, on the other hand, joined an older attorney. Within 2 years, she realized she hated law practice, hated it. The only thing she liked was working with young people through the juvenile work. Here she is, a licensed attorney, went back to college to get a teaching certificate, realized that her dream was working with youth, impacting them, impacting the future. She followed that, became a teacher, worked with young people. Me, on the other hand, year after year, I fell further into a dark hole as people came in day after day with conflict, especially in divorce cases. People wanted to get even, get revenge. I was in the darkness of conflict, realized that I needed to add color to my life. What did I do? I remembered what gave me so much fun in my youth, magic and ventriloquism. I picked up my puppets and magic tricks off the shelf, dusted them off, having had all these lines filled in along the path of law, I took the color that I added to my life and had much more fun. Now, instead of just using magic and ventriloquism for entertainment, I use it for inspirational messages. They say if you follow your dreams, you're happier. Why don't people do it more then? The great author M.K. Mueller says there's 4 reasons. 1, they're afraid they'll be happy. 2, they're afraid they'll be happy and lose it. 3, they think they don't deserve it. 4, they think they'll feel guilty if they're happy and their friends and family are not. A dream is different from a goal because in the goal there's kind of a step-by-step sequence. Dreams come from the heart. Goals come from the head. You may not know how you're going to fulfill a dream. You just know you want it. You may try to stuff it, but it just kind of keeps coming up like a recurring impulse. The first step for that is to just get the picture of what you want in your mind. Let's say you want to live in Colorado. You could have a poster of mountains, something symbolic in your office or home to help you form that picture. And you could be like Walt Disney, who saw the vision of swampland turning into Disney World. They say on your deathbed, it's not what you do that you regret, but it's been said it's what you don't do that you regret. My invitation to you today is to form that clear picture and vision of one of your dreams. As Walt Disney said, if you can dream it, you can do it.